Welcome back, cyber golfers. Today we are in the simulator. We're going to do some practicing. We're going to play some Rapsodo MLM2Pro courseware. I'm going to play one of my local courses here just to keep that little thread going for trying to play through all my local courses on the Rapsodo offering. We're going to start off though today with the target range. So the target range is a really nice way to warm up. Give yourself something a little bit different than that traditional driving range scenario. Let's get it started. So I've already started my screen recording session on my iPad. And again, I will be displaying this and performing all this from my iPad Pro 13 with the M4 chip. So we are set up for the target range. We're going to hit into a net. It looks like it's already chosen maximum graphics for us. And we're going to be hitting at sea level. So let's hit continue. We're going to go ahead and choose front center. And we're going to randomize. Actually, let's warm up and then we'll turn the randomization on. So let's go ahead and start off with our 100-yard distance. And let's hit continue. We're going to go ahead and start off with our pitching wedge as our normal warm-up club that we generally start off with. And I apologize if it's loud in here. I do have my fans on. It's a little bit humid today, and I just wanted to make sure we got it all set up. So I have my ball set up in the optimal space where I want to be hitting from. So now you're going to see me adjust the MLM2Pro so that I can hit directly down the line. If you guys see, there's a little fiber pole right behind the ball. That's going to be my line that's going to make sure that I'm hitting straight into the net. So basically plumb. I'm going to push this Rapsodo over slightly to try to get the right lineup. That looks to me like we're lined up pretty straight on this line. So if I move the ball slightly this direction, I think we're going to be dead center. If you can see behind that, there is the pole that's basically running directly across it. Let's hit continue. Looks like our Rapsodo MLM2Pro is 100% level. We love to see that. And then let's see if we're in the optimal position to capture ball data. And we basically are in the optimal position to capture ball data. So from a starting standpoint, I believe we're all set to begin this session. Have not hit a single club today. It is Sunday. Was going to plan on watching some of the PGA golf later on today. I have not been following this tournament, so I'm not even sure who's leading. I know there are some of the pros. They did not make this event, so just curious to see how that's going to work out. I'm going to go ahead and just keep my tennis shoes on to keep this pretty continuous. Again, I do apologize for the noise you might be hearing, but again, just want to try to keep it cool and pleasant here in the Sim Golf garage. I do plan on adding a mini split here in the next couple of weeks and possibly within the next month. So that's certainly going to be a bonus for me to have that level of climate control in here. I'm also going to be looking to kind of get some of these tools out of this area and put them into a storage unit out in my backyard. So a lot of things that are happening here in my golf studio slash practice area. So looking forward to that. Let's go ahead and get started with our pitching wedge. Got the pitching wedge pulled up here. Take a few practice swings just to make sure we're good to go. Again, I'm doing screen recording on the iPad. That's why we have the 4x3 format. I'm going to just come back in and supplement that video later with the actual footage of me playing some the local golf course here. So let's get our first shot of the day in. Believe we're all squared and ready to go. All right, pitching wedge, first shot of the day into the target range. So you see the white flag out there is basically at 100 yards. So we're going to try to dial in at that 100-yard mark with this target range. Hit a little thin right off the bat. Did pull it across my body, so all of that is true. We did get our 100 yards. We got 109 yards as a matter of fact. So let's again dial that in a little more and see if we can get that on target. It's a good swing. It's a better line. Still pulled across my body a little. But we are certainly in that vicinity of that 100-yard mark. We probably should be actually aiming a little further out to the 112-yard mark, but let's just see where we end up here. Gonna open my club face up a little. I feel like I'm pulling that across my body a little too much. That's a better shot. I bet you that's a straighter line. Yeah, that minor adjustment is bringing the ball back into the center, and we're now closer to our target. So I believe that will be our first ball that we hit on target. Again, because I know that my line is actually square and plumb, I'm going to make sure that I fix my swing path with just adjusting my club face. So again, I might need to hit it a little more open to get it back to the center rather than closed to reduce that dramatic draw / pull that you guys have been seeing lately. I'm not changing my swing path. I'm simply just changing my club face at impact to bring it back closer to the center. As a result, with some fade, that's going to reduce some of the distance. That's why you're seeing 100-yard carry instead of, 105, 109. And just to kind of show you guys that, I'm going to go ahead and switch back to my traditional inside out. And you're going to see this ball probably go about 109 yards now, just because of the draw versus the fade. So that actually was a good inside to out. You see the ball curving, and now you're going to see more distance out of it. There's 111 yards. So those are the things that you kind of need to learn when you hit the different shots. Again, if I'm trying to hit the target, then I'm going to sacrifice distance to hit the target. Otherwise, I'm going to have to just change my alignment slightly so that I am drawing it more in line with that target. Let's hit a couple more with the club face open, try to bring it back to the center a little more. That's a good one on a great line. Again, I'm just slightly off center with that shot, but I mean, I could live with that. It's going 100 yards. I could live with that, or I could actually adjust my positioning and account for the draw. Another option that I have when I'm actually, playing an actual virtual round is I can actually change my alignment. So I could move my aim point over to the right so that when I do finish this shot, that shot will go naturally, into the pin. We can't really do that here on the driving range. They want you to stand square and then just focus on, hitting parallel. Again, some very good contact. That's probably my straightest shot there with my club face open, and we are on target. So again, reaching my 100 yards just because the club face is open, so we're getting that fade on it. We're not getting the distance, but we are getting the accuracy. And that's just simply an adjustment of my club face. I'm not changing anything else. I'm still swinging inside to out, just slightly opening my club face to get that fade bias on it. So I think we have this one dialed in at that 100-yard distance. More importantly, we do see that our shot shape is accurate. And again, just for the sake of hitting this like I need to, I'm going to turn my body severely. I'm going to hit a draw, and I'm going to see if we can get that basically on target with the draw. I hit that more with the draw shape on it. Now it's coming back to the center, and we got our distance. So you see how that warm-up session, we learned a lot with just about 7 to 8 swings on ball control, just based off of the knowledge that we've kind of gained over the last 7 months, 8 months. So able to do that right on cue, knowing what's going wrong, knowing how to fix it with the club face, and then knowing how to fix it with body position. But you could see that's a perfect draw shape. I got all my distance, and I ended up going right at the pin. So I'd say that this pitching wedge is dialed in. So let's go ahead and move over to the 9-iron and see if we can dial this one in a little bit more as well. I did do a demonstration video for one of my followers. Mosul Mister had a question about Rapsodo accuracy versus distance, and I did a pretty cool little video for him. Hope it got him the information he needed, but I certainly learned some of the things that I was really not sure of, but I tested the theory out and pretty much proved it. Let's go ahead and change our pin position. So now we're going to be hitting more to this 132-yard mark. Let's hit continue, and now we're aiming at a different target. That's the cool thing about this target range. You just pick a flag, you pick a distance, and it's just gonna point you in a direction where there's a flag. If you look at this on the screen, you can see that we're basically pointing across the tee boxes over to a flag that's positioned over to the right-hand side of the tee box. Let's go ahead and hit a couple with the 9-iron. We'll hit just our traditional draw, and then we'll fix it with the face open, and then we'll adjust our body to get it into that flag. So I'm gonna hit a traditional draw straight right here to see what happens. As expected, the ball did draw. We're probably gonna get our 120-ish distance out of it. We're gonna hit the same shot, but we're gonna turn the club face. We're gonna open the club face slightly, see if we can get that line to come back more to the center. Same swing, same lineup in terms of parallel. We're not changing anything except for the club face at address. Ooh, that one went way off to the right, so came across that one. I think I was focused more on that swing path. That was not a good shot. Let's see if we can make a more reliable shot so we can get good information. May have inadvertently broke the driving range here. Don't know. Let me take another shot, see if that corrects it. Otherwise, I might have to reset this. Don't know if that's a problem. Yeah, I think I literally broke the driving range with that shot. Let's do this just to get us back. Let's change flag positions just to see if it'll allow us. Yeah, I think the driving range actually broke. Let me just hit another one to see if it comes out of that little position. Otherwise, we may be dealing with the bug here. I think the driving range is frozen, guys. That must have been such a severe shot that it actually broke the driving range. So here's what we're gonna do, guys. This is real time. I'm running it from my iPad. I'm gonna disconnect the lightning cable, see if that does anything. Not lightning cable, USB-C to HDMI. I'm going to leave this session. Then I'm going to go back into target range, reload it. Again, we're going to have to just adjust the, I'm going to say resume session. We were hitting the 9-iron. We have 9-iron selected. Let's change the landscape issue that we generally tend to have with this. Continue. We're going to assume everything's still lined up. And we're back. So that might actually be a bug that we just discovered there. Again, I might not be the first one to discover that, but that certainly is unfortunate. The one thing I can tell you is the Rapsodo developers, they do an exceptional job of listening to their audience, making adjustments, modifying the software, adding features that we're basically asking for. And you see those things roll up into firmware updates pretty frequently. Let's go back to the program here, see if we can hit a nice little fade. That's a good shot with the 9-iron. Straight line. So again, we fixed it with simply turning the club face at address. That's what corrected that shot right there. Now I'm going to see if I can reach that flag, but turning my body and hitting a draw into that same target. So I'm going to turn my body more. So I'm going to be aiming more this direction. Same thing I would do if I was using the keyboard or the iPad to readjust my alignment on a virtual golf round. I'm just physically going to start the ball more off to the right. I'm going to hit my normal draw shape, but I am severely offline in terms of my alignment. I hit a draw with severe line, and there it goes. I got my distance, and now I'm actually hitting towards the pin, and I got my 130 yards out of it. So if anything, if there's a takeaway from here, it is putting the cycles in. You can make these adjustments on the golf course if you understand what it is you have to do to make those adjustments. So gonna hit a few more with just a straight shot with the club face open. Not gonna get the full distance, but we might get this on a more straighter line off the tee box. Should be slightly a slight fade back to the center. Again, not going to get my 130 yards out of it, but it's a more straighter shot. And I'll hit one more 9-iron with the alignment, just to confirm my theory that I can fix this by simply changing my position. In the game, in the sim game that I'm going to play though, I will simply just align this and I'll stay square to the hitting mat. So not going to see me make that dramatic change when I'm playing the sim golf around here in a little bit. Now I whipped that one, so that one's going to be severe. There's our draw. That's a severe draw, so I came around that one. But again, I got my distance out of it. And that's what I just wanted to show you, is that that is certainly possible. You can make those adjustments real time and just get it all figured out. Alrighty, let's go ahead and change to a, let's go up a couple of clubs. Let's go ahead and go directly to the 6-iron. I was having an issue with the 6-iron the other day. I'm gonna see if we can fix that. Change our target. The 6-iron we anticipate should go 170-ish. Hit continue. Looks like it's gonna aim us up into that upper echelon. And let's go. Let's go. So I have my 6-iron in hand. Let's take a normal shot at it with the 6-iron and see where we end up. This naturally has a fade to it, so let's see what happens with my first shot. Okay, I pull that one across my body severely. Now let's fix that now. We got our distance out of it, but again, did not hit it plumb and square like I needed to. So now I'm gonna open the club face. Same swing, just open the club face. Open the club face, that should put some fade to it. And now we are shaping this ball. We are shaping this ball. You see the distance though, right? I only got 136 yards out of this 6-iron because again, I caught it with some draw on it, but we got the right shot shape. So let's hit it again. Maybe catch it a little more pure. Same shot shape. Club face open. Again, there's my baby cut. That one should get up there. And there we go. We just fixed our shot shape by turning our club face. Now, let's get the maximum distance by turning our body and hitting the draw. Okay, so we're turning our body, gonna hit the draw. We should get that 160, 170 out of this now, assuming we catch it pure. Caught it pure. There is the draw. And there is the distance, 170. So again, I'm just trying to show you guys that it is possible to understand this game and why the ball is doing what it's doing and how you can fix it. These types of target ranges are perfect because you're not hitting into a static driving range. You're literally trying to make a play on a pin position that's elevated, or it's tucked, or it's in a slight dog leg. So you're having to use real world physics that you would use on the course to reach these distances. So this is a very, very valuable tool that Rapsodo has in their target range. They've also updated the graphics. So graphically, it's pretty nice to look at. Hit one more with the club face open, just to confirm we can hit that fade on demand. That's a fade, and there it goes. We're gonna lose distance as expected, but we hit the shot shape we wanted. And then one last one, I'll hit the draw with the 6-iron, and we'll go right into some courseware play. I do wanna play my local course, the Freeport Municipal Golf Course. Wanna get that one in today. So I'm gonna just aim my body position. I'm actually turned. And I'm looking to create this draw just based off of my position of my body. I'm not pointing down the line. Got the draw. There it goes. You see it turning. And there we go. We got our 170 yards, 166 yards total. And that's basically it. That was the point of this warm-up session, to get me warm first of all, but to kind of just show you guys that if you put the time in and you learn, what you're supposed to be doing with your body position, with your hands, with your club, with your follow through, you can dial up these shots on demand. Again, they're sporadic. I'm not hitting like a very specific, 5-yard box every single time, but I am replicating the shot that I'm trying to hit. And that's my point here. So you guys stick to it. I hope your guys are getting better. I hope some of these lessons, I am not a PGA trainer by any means. I'm just relaying to you guys what I've learned through the mechanics and through the synchronization of my swing. I'm just translating what I've learned, and maybe you guys are in the same situation, and maybe what I'm saying might resonate with you versus other YouTubers that are telling you some different things to focus on. At the end of the day, it's going to be about the feel. How you guys feel when you hit a shot pure, how you feel when you intentionally hit a fade or a draw. That's going to translate into repeatability, and that's going to translate into better golf. So thank you guys for watching. I'll go ahead and stop this. I'll put this in my Cyber Golf U Jabba-Whopping session, and then I'm going to go ahead and follow up with some MLM2 course play from my local course. Thank you guys for watching, and we'll talk to you again soon.